Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Pursuit Live. With me, as always, your creator and co-host, Mr. Dave Hawkins.
What's happening, killers? How we doing tonight?
And we got a good show for you tonight. We got an interesting character, and listen, this is going to be a fun one. So, tell your friends, tell them to hurry up. We're just getting started, so please, everybody, give a warm welcome to Mr. Jimmy George, co-owner of Scent Assassin. Jimmy, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys?
Listen, we're hanging in there. Thank you for taking some time out to chat with us tonight, and we're looking forward to this. Anytime we can sit around, have a few drinks, and shoot the shit about hunting is, listen, it makes a shitty work week all worth it.
No doubt. No doubt.
I like this. There's already a comment. Glad you got help from the middle school for your intro video.
Listen. I would make comments on who made that video, but that's from his professional account, so I'm going to leave it alone. But needless to say, that's an old friend, and I have a lot of dirt on that guy. So, watch your comments there, buddy.
I love it, man. That's what it's all about. All right, bring it. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. If it's going to be one of those nights, let's go. Let's have some fun. We'll get it going here. Yes, Mr. Jimmy George, co-owner of Scent Assassins. Obviously, thank you for carving out some time to share with us tonight, and let's get it going. The first part of the show, you're going to talk a little bit. We like to give everybody a little bit of background info on who you are really as a person. What do you do for a living? Where'd you cut your roots? How'd you get hunting? And, at that point, I'll let you take it away.
All right. So I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. My grandpa and my dad got me into hunting, fishing, outdoors. Tried my best to get my boys to do it. But I started them too young, and they don't care about it as much as I do. So, but I worked for a Class 1 railroad as a conductor.
Which railroad, if you don't mind me asking, because I spent a few years on the railroad.
CSX.
Oh, all right. Now we're talking. I was an Amtrak guy for a while, so.
Lucky. You're on the train.
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting. Continue.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. All right, that's and I'm co-owner of Scent Assassin. We started in 2018, and we're still here.
All right. So obviously, there's a deep-seated a love and passion for hunting for yourself. It's how did you get started out? Did you start out with just archery hunting, or was it more just small game, running around with a shotgun and a 22? Really, what was your evolution as a hunter over the years?
Going squirrel hunting with my grandpa.
Nice, good.
That's pretty much where it started. And then I kind of started deer hunting a little bit with my dad. And we got my first deer when I was 12, and that's pretty much fueled my fire.
Yeah. So that first one really, I really want to keep doing this. There's always one deer. It might not always be the first one, but at some point, a hunter has that one connection after a hunt. It's like, man, I need more of this in my life, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. I was hooked, man. Hooked.
Yeah. Well, we talk about it a lot, especially with the archery hunt. It just because most of your encounters are so close, so intimate with the animals that you're after. It's just we compare it to sports. I don't know if what your sport background was, but if anybody that played sports up to a certain caliber, it's just that adrenaline rush. It's very hard to match, but I think hunting would be the second closest thing if we had to put a finger on it.
I don't know. I got more excited hunting than I did ever playing baseball.
I'll give you that, without a doubt. All right, so West Virginia, obviously, is that where you did most of your hunting growing up? Yeah, that's where you're based now. Is that?
Yeah, okay. I've only hunted Kansas one time, and that was it. But pretty much all my hunting's here. Right. I don't go anywhere else. There's big enough bucks and plenty of deer here. I don't need to go nowhere else.
I totally understand that, my man. I get it. So you kind of set your base camp in West Virginia. What's if nobody's ever hunted there? I've never been there myself. What type of terrain are you hunting? Hill country, it sounds like, I'm sure.
It's mountains and swirling winds constantly. It's never the same. It's constantly swirling. You hunt mountains, at some point the deer's going to be looking at you. It's hard to find a tree. They're coming up the hill. They're looking up the hill as they're walking. They're coming down the hill. At one point, they're going to be eye level with you. you very rarely find a flat that's any to hunt on, you know. So I don't know what it's like in New York, but
Well, I mean, up here out where Dave is, it's all flat land. He's got very little elevation change, but up where I am, it's I mean, I guess you could call them. They call them mountains here. They're more like hills, large hills. But yeah, it's a lot of hardwoods up here. A lot of hardwoods and swamps.
yeah.
Yeah, if I'm pulling 50 feet here on Long Island in some spots, like holy shit, I got a mountain to climb. I hunt pretty much everything I hunt is sea level. But all right, so what I'm trying to get at is at one point in the game, like, did you really start focusing on some tactics? Like, obviously, we're going to talk about San Assassin coming up in a little bit, but obviously, we all know the wind is such a crucial factor. It can be your best friend or your best enemy. You combine that with thermals. So when did you really start focusing on that and actually including that into some of your tactics, or did you know that early on?
Well, kind of. I listened to a lot of the older people, you know, older guys that hunted and bow hunted, and I knew about the wind and all that, but I just not enough. But probably high school was when I really started to get into it, and I would go out and get. I would wash my clothes in baking soda, and I would go out and get leaves and sticks from the particular stand that I was hunting, put them in a garbage bag, put my clothes in there, and that's where I hunted from, or what I hunted in when I hunted those places.
Yep. No, that's tried and true. Like I have pine branches and cedar branches in a couple different pens, depending on where I'm hunting. So I mean, without a doubt, that's definitely like a little bit of a more old school, but totally effective. You know, airing the clothes out. You know, a couple months before the season. I even if I got a little fire going in the backyard, I'll bring them out. I'll hang them around the campfire. I'll ask you, Chris. Have you heard about that? The actual term of smoking your hunting clothes. I've read about a long time ago, and basically the premise. There's two premises behind that. The actual carbon, I believe it is, in the smoke helps absorb some natural scents, but campfire smoke in particular is very naturally occurring in most areas of the country. You know, you got wood burning stoves, whatever campfires, whatever it may be. So even if you have a slight hint of smoke on your clothes, that's almost like a natural smell to the deer. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, this was a question I asked my PH when I was in Africa. Because we were, every night out by the fire. I said, if does the smoke bother the animals, or is this something that if we're out on a stalk or if we're sitting in the hide, is this smoke smell going to alert the animals? And he said, no. As a matter of fact, sometimes they'll actually, there's a good method of scent control or cover scent for them. They actually take zebra dung and burn it.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. So they, I've heard of smoking your clothes. I've heard of, leaving them out. Personally, I don't subscribe to that, but I have heard of it, and I haven't seen anybody have a negative result from it. So,
yeah, I think it's all about moderation as well. You don't want to be reeking of a campfire, but for me, like I said, if I'm just out doing yard work or something, I got the fire going, yeah, and it's like July or August, yeah, bring them out.
Yeah.
Bring them around the fire a little bit, let them air out. What do you think about that, Jimmy? You think there's anything to that? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, didn't Native Americans do it too?
Yeah, it was definitely it was an article based about like the Native Americans and some of their primitive practices for scent control. I can't remember where I read it, but I do read, so I know I read it somewhere. There must have been a picture attached to the article. All right. So one question we like to ask our guests is, you're getting geared up for a hunt, and we've had a lot of funny answers to this one. Do you have any pre-hunt ritual or anything superstitious you may do before a hunt?
Yeah. I got camo underwear that I've been wearing.
Yes. We always get funny answers for this one. All right.
And yeah, that's that, and I have to have my watch on, that certain watch, and these three things in my pocket. I have to have chapstick, no matter what it is, a fingernail clippers, and a pocket knife. I will not go in the woods without them, and I won't go anywhere without them. And this watch.
Well, there you
go. I guess that takes my question out of the
I was going to say you took Chris's questions. That's good.
All of my big bucks, I've had this watch on when I killed them.
Is there a story behind the watch, or just happens to be anytime you had that watch on, you were
I
successful?
got it when I started working on the railroad,
Nice.
and I never take it off.
All right. So, after one of these successful hunts, you got your gold Rolex going there. You dropped a nice deer. Who's that first phone call you're making?
Well, it just depends. I'm usually so jacked up I don't call anybody. Probably, I don't know. Maybe one of my kids. I've called them, girlfriend.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. I feel you kind of living in the moment. I can appreciate that, soaking it all in. I get it.
Yeah. Like if it's a real big buck, I'm trying not to puke.
That I can totally understand. You're talking about a dump of emotions, without a doubt. Sometimes the last thing we're thinking about is the phone, so that's good. Living in the moment. We got to do that a lot more. All righty. Blazing right through this first section here.
Who do you call?
What's that?
Who do you call?
It would definitely be my dad. My dad's always the first call, either a call or a text, and then it's normally like a group chat with him and my brother, and then I let the wife know I'm going to be a little late.
I hear you. What you, Chris?
Oh, I got a list of people that I call. Normally, I'm texting people first, and when I'm actually calling people, it's because I need help dragging it out.
That's when you find out who your friends are.
Oh, that's it.
Damn
That's
right.
it.
You're damn right.
Listen, I'll tell you a quick story. Last year, I shot my buck, and I was calling my buddy, calling him. It was the middle of the day too. It was a work day, so everybody was at work. I was calling my one buddy, hoping he was available. Didn't answer. Finally, his girlfriend texts me. She's like, "Why are you calling him so much? He's sleeping. He worked last night." I was like, "I just shot this big deer. I need help." And I swear to God, she got suited up, came out, and helped me drag this thing out of the woods. So
No way.
No, I got one for you. It's pretty funny. So same thing. I dropped this big one behind me here, and I knew if I dragged him out a certain way, it was a little bit longer, but there was actually like an old service road, an abandoned service road. So I grabbed him, I do the field dress and everything. I'm taking some pictures, kind of calming myself down. I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I got one. I got a big one. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, no, really. I'm like, listen, what I need you to do though is I need you to grab the hand truck and meet me over here. He knew roughly where I was. He's like, the hand truck in the woods. I'm like, no, we're gonna take an express lane out of here. So I hear the hand truck coming down like the old abandoned service road with the ratchet strap. We slid them out. We loaded them up on the hand truck, and that might have been one of the easiest hauls out I've ever done. Loaded them up on the hand truck, rolled them out down the road, slid them into the truck, and we were good to go.
Nice.
Good old Long Island hunting. There's an abandoned service road everywhere.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it is. It ain't bad sometimes. Let's talk a little bit about your setup right now. Like, obviously, we know it's trail camera season, it's mineral season, wherever the states allow it. You could talk a little bit specifically about San Assassin Mineral right now. We'll dive into that more later. But what's your hunting setup looking right now? Are you heavy into the cameras? Do you still have a lot more cameras to put up or stands?
Yeah, I've got one of my urban spot. Well, two urban spots already set up.
Okay.
Running cameras in one of them that I've got minerals at. I've got my buddy that Jamie that I hunt with. He's got minerals that cameras on our minerals in the other urban set, and then me and my buddy Kenny up on my lease. We've been running cameras probably since February ish, and
Okay.
and I run minerals from January till October. Like every month I put a bag at each of my spots. So, but I don't always put cameras out right now. Not when they're they're just barely got little antlers or whatever. I'm gonna wait till I get big junk.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. I'd save some of that battery life.
Yeah, I don't want to be in there that much.
Right. Do you run SD cameras, or you run a little bit more of the cell cameras where once you place them, you can kind of stay out for a while?
I run SD cameras until about September.
Okay.
And then I'll throw my cell cams up. I really don't. I only use 2 cell cams, and
Okay.
I really put them where I know that I'm like, if I know a week ahead of time, like I've got a buck on the camera that I'm trying to get after or whatever, I'll put my camera there. And then my biggest thing with the cell cam is I want to know what's in there when I'm going in, so I'm not bumping something out.
Right. Okay. I want to touch on the mineral for a little bit. And sometimes, people, maybe it's more like a non-hunter scenario. They hear about a mineral site or you're putting out mineral and they kind of just look at you with this sideways look. And it's almost, oh, so you're feeding the deer? There is, without a doubt, nutritional value, but it's really, I don't consider that baiting. I wish I could run mineral, especially on my property upstate, just to help the deer herd out.
Yeah.
It really is, I think, such a critical part, and especially for these bucks. Like, there's so many nutrients and in these mineral sites that really, number one, the antler growth, it's so critical for them. But just overall, I mean, what do you guys think is the most important part of an established mineral site for the overall health of the deer herd? Not so much, trying to lure them in, but actually trying to help these deer get through these hot summer months.
Well, like I know our mineral isn't chock full of a bunch of salt,
Right.
so you really want something that's I want something that's gonna help them.
Yeah.
Like, that's really going to be beneficial and not just a bunch of salt.
What would be like, without, I don't want you to spill any secrets, but like, what if you had to pick maybe one ingredient? Let's maybe target antler growth. Could you kind of put your finger on one that's really going to help those bucks get a nice, healthy antler development?
No,
Or it's more of a combination of everything kind of together, working together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched something interesting on YouTube. It's a deer biologist was talking about minerals, and he was saying that that like if people just think, okay, I'm gonna go put minerals out, and these bucks are automatically just going to grow huge antlers, that year or whatever. He said the bucks that get the most out of the mineral is the doe with the buck fawn in her, in utero.
Okay.
They get the most benefit out of the minerals.
Interesting. That's a very interesting way of looking at it. I mean, you think about just like, when your wife or your girlfriend, whatever, is pregnant, they're eating for two. Simple way to think of it. So, I mean, and it's directly through that umbilical and everything going directly to there. Chris, what are your takes on mineral? Obviously, we're in the same boat, being both from New York. Obviously, New York State, they have a severe worry about CWD and these other diseases from parasites. But I mean, these deer herd up anyway. They live in close proximity anyway.
Yeah.
Do you really think mineral site would add to any type of disease spreading like this?
I don't really subscribe to that theory. And again, the CWD, where they have found it in New York, it wasn't in a wild population. It was at a deer farm. So if anything, that just shows you that much more that it'll spread in a compact herd, where the wild herds that we have here in New York, even though our deer population density is so huge, it's not large enough where it's really going to spread like wildfire like that. Do I think mineral would be something that is beneficial to the deer? Yes. Do I think that it's something maybe New York could explore using? I as opposed to straight up bait. If they want, I understand that. If they were to say mineral, okay, I get it. Because if you think about it this way, say I had a cattle ranch and I had a salt lick out there for my cattle, and the deer show up and they start using it. What's the difference? So
No,
I'm kind of in the camp where mineral should be something that maybe the DEC should explore for us to use. Do I think that we should, just go full on bait piles? I don't know if I'm there yet, but I kind of support mineral use.
You don't support baiting?
Not up here. I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know.
I think it's just such a regional thing. We're so used, it's like impregnated in us, like no baiting, no feeding, no feeding, no baiting. Where if all of a sudden we were able to go out and legally throw 50 to 100 pounds of sweet feed out, it would be like, all right, guys are doing it anyway on, in the middle of the night, sure. But now it's like, holy shit, it would be a culture change for us where without a doubt, you go a little bit south to west of us, that is just a regional style of hunting, like dog hunting, where guys are running dogs. That is like a culture change. Like that's a very regional type of hunting where if you're not used to it, people can almost look at it like, oh wow, that seems odd almost. It's always a hot debate. I will say we did have a scare here with the EHD on the island, and I know for a fact you would walk into a patch of woods and you would just smell death. Unfortunately,
well,
was,
the thing about the EHD, Dave, that's not something that even feeding is going to create. That's caused by the midge flies.
Correct.
That's going to occur no matter what.
Right. Right. The midge fly is going to get them whether they're here over a mineral or they're 100 yards away. I do agree with that.
I mean, you look at how EHD, when we had the big breakout here, we can't bait in New York. We can't use mineral, and we still had massive deer die-offs.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything like that? Like where you're at, Jimmy, in West Virginia? Have you guys had any scares with the EHD or the CWD?
CWD up north in some of the way up north counties.
Okay.
But not down here where I'm at in old fields.
All right. Yeah, no, again, it's so regional, and it could even be hyper regional. It's just one of those debates. I mean, we could talk about it monthly and have a different answer almost every month. So, all right. This is where my handy outline comes into play. Let's get out of that rabbit hole. I think at that point, we officially did a pretty solid background on yourself, Jimmy. I'm going to pass it off to Chris now. He's going to take you through the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit more gear, a little bit more about your hunting setups.
All right.
So we're going to get real technical here. This is where I ask the deep questions.
All right.
No, so first, before we really get into, I guess we can get into your hunting setups a little bit. Now, one of the things that I like to ask you are, do you primarily hunt on the ground or do you prefer to sit in a tree?
Well, the older I've got, when it starts getting cold, I like to be in a blind.
Okay.
Because I just can't take hanging off a tree like I used to whenever it's cold.
Listen, it's understood. It happens to us all. Dave will get there eventually.
But no, I mean, early season I like to be in a tree because you've got more cover, and then. But last year, have you all heard of Gilly Puck?
Yes.
Okay, last year I started using the Gilly Puck, man, and I'm telling you, that stuff's a game changer.
Very unique design, very unique product, without a doubt. Useful.
But I'm telling you that stuff is. I actually hunted late season and did well and didn't get busted like I normally did. Just by being outlined.
Right. Cover.
But I don't know. It just depends on the place that I'm hunting, where I want, what I prefer. Like, if there's not a lot of big trees, not a lot of cover, I definitely want to be in a blind. But like the urban hunt here, you have to be in a tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you know how it is trying to find the perfect tree.
Don't tell Dave about that. Dave knows how to find something to climb in, no matter where he goes.
Yeah. So there's a long-standing joke, Jimmy. I climbed a telephone pole last season, and I made the mistake of documenting it. It was funny. I'm glad I documented it. But I was in the middle of a field, public land spot, heavy, sitting right over a heavy run. But it was just real scraggly scrub oaks, nothing to get up in until I came across this one telephone pole. And I said, to hell with it. I'm going up. The only way it would have been better if I had something come through that night. So there's a long running joke about phone pole Hawkins, phone pole urban pursuit. So that's what that's all about.
That's funny.
Yeah, we make it happen, man.
So would you? Let me ask you this: would you consider yourself more of a bow hunter or a rifle hunter?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Bow/crossbow.
Okay. Listen. Here we're very accepting of to dispel the debate. Like everybody talks shit about crossbow hunters. Me, I'm like only bows, except for Cape Buffalo where it's only 375. But you know, everybody hates on crossbow hunters, and to me, it's listen. I know plenty of guys that use crossbows. I own 2 of them myself. I don't hunt with them, but I own them. And why are we trying to push people away from the sport? If that's what gets you into the woods and they're out there doing it, why aren't we welcoming more people, you know, getting more people into archery and using the crossbow as a bridge to do that?
Dude, I didn't want it to pass here. Whenever it passed, I was like, well, I'm going to get one too then. I like the first year I didn't go grab one, but I was like, if everybody else can do it, why can't I?
There you go.
I mean, but I'm not strictly crossbow. I still like to shoot them with my bow. I just like, I've been battling target panic real bad here the last couple of years, and I haven't been confident enough in myself to go take a bow out, and you know what I mean. I just, it's not fair to what I'm hunting if I don't think I can ethically kill it.
Well said. I also think that's where social media kind of throws a negative. That's where a negative side of the social media aspect.
Oh, you're always going to have your keyboard cowboys that wants to jump on here and hide behind a computer screen and tell you how shitty you are because you do this or do that.
Right. So that's the times where it's like we kind of got to band together a little bit. There's nothing wrong with busting balls and joking around. Don't get me wrong. We're all for that. But Chris, totally to your point, if this is a first-year hunter, somebody with a shoulder injury, who the hell are we to say that that's a lesser valued kill because you used a crossbow? You know, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So, all right, now 2 more questions, and then I want to get into Sen Assassin here. Would you consider yourself more of a morning hunter or an afternoon hunter?
Well, the older I've gotten, I'm more of an afternoon hunter, but I don't know. It just depends. Last year, I just wasn't into it, man. I couldn't get up for nothing. I couldn't wake up in the mornings. So I hunted most of the time in the evening, and I did good.
All right. Listen, there you go. I'm a big proponent. Like these guys were breaking my balls about it, and they're like, "Oh man, when do you go in? Do you go in at 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?" Like, dude, I'm going in at like 7 o'clock in the morning when the sun's already like over the mountain, like I could see my way in. I'm like, "What are you guys
That
talking
drives
about?"
me nuts. That irks the shit out of me.
Man,
Dave's over here all pissed off. He's like, "Man, fucking, you don't go in at 4 o'clock in the morning." Dave is 45 sits into the season. I hunted 3 times this year.
I guess it depends on when the deer or whatever's coming in.
Yeah,
too.
Without a doubt, it's definitely situational. Without a doubt. You know,
well, statistically, they've done studies, and I posted a video about it and caught a lot of flack. That statistically, peak buck movement actually happens between 12 and 2 in the day. So, and that's when everybody's getting out. What are they doing? They're getting out of their stands, going to take lunch.
Yeah,
I would rather go in later, well rested. I don't have a headlamp. I can see where I'm going. No problem. Get set up quick, and then I'm sitting through lunch. No problem.
Yeah.
So you're later in the day hunter. What about the season? Do you prefer the early season or later in the season?
I like early and really late.
Okay.
I like early, like before the acorns drop, and I like late after it seems like, food's getting a little scarce. Because like this buck right here, I killed it the day before Christmas Eve.
Okay.
A couple years ago, and this one I killed in late November, right before rifle season started, before the Orange Army came out.
There you go. Listen, day before Christmas Eve, that's a good day to kill deer. Let me tell you.
That deer he didn't start daylighting until that week, and he started coming in every day at about, it was 4:30 in the evening. He would come in 4:30ish.
All right. So
I like to think that early season and extreme late season, it's almost like food to bed pattern. You know, it's very similar if you think about it. You know, I don't want to say it's easier to kind of nail their pattern down, but if you're going to, I guess, quote unquote, pattern the deer, you know, that very early season, chances are, you know, they're coming from food to bed, bed to food. So same thing in that late season where the food is scarce. You know, are you hunting like on a lot of ag fields, or is a lot of oaks with acorns you focus on?
Oaks and stuff, but we're allowed to bait here, so
That's true, right? So that could throw a whole wrench in the mix. Yeah,
I have no shame. I don't get a ton of time to hunt, so
Yeah.
I do what I can to give myself an advantage to be able to get the deer to stop when they come in and get an ethical shot. I don't want them, you know, try to shoot at one walking or something like that.
right, without a doubt. And we touched on it before. If it's legal for you in the area and it's part of the custom of hunting, like by all means, like there's nothing wrong with it. We should do a show one night, just strictly, you know, the pros and cons maybe of, you know, baiting in between different states. That would be a heated debate, I know, but
We might have to seriously start drinking for that night.
but to your point, you need meat in the freezer. You want meat in the freezer? By all means, fucking do it. You know, who's to say you can't?
Isn't that what it's all about in the first place?
Right, 100%.
I mean, that's what I'm in it for. Yeah. I mean, you can't eat the antlers, but you can stir the chili with it.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh man. All right. So now I want to get into the good topic here. What we're all here to talk about other than hunting. All right. So Scent Assassin.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I kind of walk us through the very beginning, like day one. What was that kind of spark, that inspiration that really was like, this is what I want to do?
Okay. So it's kind of a long story. I'll make it as short and sweet as possible.
That's your story, man. Take your time.
So my buddy Kenny Cooper owns a shop here in Charleston called Ballistic, and
I like that name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I was over there and I was needing some field spray, or, you know, some scent elimination spray. And he's like, "You got to smell this stuff." He's like, "It's really good." So I went and smelled it, and like it was like the dirtiest dirt you've ever smelled. Like, you know, like go out early in the morning, kick out a spot beside of a tree, and that pungent dirt smell. So I went and used it. And then I told Jason, my business partner, about it, send him a bottle because he lived in Ohio at the time. And he's like, you know, "Oh man, this stuff smells good." Well, I used it that season. That was 2017. And I noticed that I was getting closer. I've had deer close, like super close, but not as calm as what these deer was. You know what I mean? They had no clue. So I knew I was onto something. Well, so that company, we tried to contact them. We was doing a little YouTube thing, you know, filming our hunts and stuff, and we was trying to get a hold of them maybe to see if we could work with them, you know, maybe sponsor or whatever, because they was from Charleston too. But never could get a hold of them. And then finally I went to my other business partner, because we're all friends, known each other since we was kids. And I was telling him about it. And he was like, "Where's it made?" And I told him. He's like, "I know these people. I know these people. Let me." He's like, "Actually, I'm going to talk to them tomorrow. What are you wanting to do?" And I was like, "Well, we'd just like to see if they want to work with us somehow or something, you know." So he went and met with them, and he come back. He called me. He's like, "Come down to my office." And I went down there, and he's like, "They don't want anything to do with it. They said that we could brand it as our own and sell it." And he's like, "They just want to make it." So I was like, "Well, that's cool." So we decided we called up a meeting with them, and that's when Scent Assassin started. Well, the first batch we started, we needed to add a surfactant to it, a natural surfactant to it, to give it a shelf life. Well, when we did that, it totally changed the whole smell. Like, I mean, bad. It smelled like pine floor cleaner or something. So Like, we can't sell this. This isn't right. So this was like a drug deal. Like, me and the chemist met. I think it was like 6 weeks. Like, we just meet at random, gas stations or something. Here they come with 2 vials, and it's like, smell this one, smell this one. And then we talk, add a little more of this, a little more of that, or take this out. And then about 6 weeks, we finally got it to where it is now. So it was a long road once we added because we wanted a shelf life for if we did get in a big box store or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so take us through your first, I guess your first year or two in business. What maybe were some early successes that you saw, and then maybe some things that didn't go so well that you learned from that kind of helped you along the way.
Well, our early successes was some of the lasting relationships we've made with some customers that we've had since day one that, totally believe in us and believe in the scent and use it and are diehard scent assassin. I don't know. I don't really feel that we've had any kind of real bad hurdles or anything, not in my opinion. Everything we grow every year. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna hop in real quick with a question here. Have you seen a desire more for scent elimination or cover scent, or do you find that customers are using them in combination for the most part?
Well, the earth of ours is kind of both. I mean, it's a scent elimination spray with the dirt smell. That's what you've got, the natural earth.
Yeah.
And that's our pride and joy there. That's our baby. That started this whole journey for us.
Right. Well, like you said, you kick that grass over, you kick those leaves over, and you get that ozone coming up from the ground, and you could walk around just kicking up fresh dirt like that, and you'll get deer's attention just because they're curious.
Yeah, smell that. Take the lid off of that.
It's gonna open it tomorrow, but let's do it now.
Let's smell it.
It's dirt, leaves.
Okay. Now take it away, and then smell it again. You'll smell it in layers. You'll be able to smell different things, and you'll smell pine in a minute. You'll smell. It comes in layers.
Okay.
And that's what it's designed to do.
Very interesting.
This is great. I'm over here a whiskey tasting professional, and we're over here doing the exact same thing with scent control.
Exactly. But can you not smell the difference? Can you not smell?
Yes, 100%. I mean, while I have this in my hand, the one thing that I do love is that it comes obviously standard with the screw top, and the spray nozzles are separate.
Yes.
Can't tell you how many companies they just ship it with a spray nozzle, which is great. This thing's kicking around in the back of my truck and my tote. Now the spray nozzle breaks and it leaks.
Well,
storage, travel, when you're in the field, smart.
Well, we've had our, the post office and some other entities that delivered stuff that would bust the sprayers would break off, and that looked like they run over it with a truck and then punted it like a football and then delivered it.
So little things like that may not seem like a big idea, but when you step back and you think about it, from the consumer, from the user, it is. Because now, again, screw top for traveling, spray nozzle when I'm walking in the field or in my backpack. So just want to touch on that real quick. But yeah, Chris, keep doing it. It's your segment. I don't want to hijack it.
No, you're all good, man. It's your show. All right, so getting into from the beginning to now. So you guys are gaining rapid success. I would say you're gaining rapid popularity. What kind of goals do you have in the short term for Scent Assassin?
I just want everybody to use it, but I guess my goal now is to get in. The goal is to get in some big box stores.
Okay. Now I imagine that would be equally as important as a long-term goal. But where do you see Senecess, and hopefully in 5 years, 10 years? What do you kind of have envisioned as like the big picture?
I want to be from the shower. We want to be able to provide scent elimination from the shower all the way to, every aspect of scent elimination. When we pretty much got it covered now, but we're you just want to expand or broaden our product line. I told you earlier, I showed you the face paint before we started the live.
That's classified, everybody. So just
Yeah, this is only here. I'll give you. It's only available to the field staff right now.
So there you go. Little incentive.
There you go.
Face to tune in. We tell people all the time. Face to tune in.
And mineral.
Without a doubt, the product line is extensive. If anybody, at the very least, after the show, just scroll through. Follow along on their Instagram, but definitely check out the website. The product line is extensive in a good way.
And the mineral, it's also only available to the field staff right now.
Yep, I got Jason Killing and Grilling chiming in on Instagram. He said that freaking mineral, and he put a bunch of the fire emojis. And without a doubt, he had a very similar scenario as yours, where they were just burrowing under that stump to get it.
Jason, I got these boxed today. I got my warhead bolts for my crossbow.
There we go. See that, Jason? We got a little warhead promotion for you. We got you covered.
Oh,
there you go.
Sticker. Let's see these. I haven't even got to open them yet. These are the napalm bolts.
Nice.
These are sweet.
Oh yeah, look at them bad boys.
Oh yeah.
Is that like the carbon fiber shaft? It's hard to tell on the camera there.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, nice.
The warhead logo on there.
Yep.
Nice.
Hey, it already smells like blood.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. No, definitely a shout out. Without a doubt, definitely a shout out to Jason. He's a loyal follower to us, but everything he's got going with Warhead specifically, we'll give him.
Not to mention, he's an all-around decent guy too.
Yeah, he's all right. He's an all right guy. But without a doubt, we'll give him a nice plug in the middle of the show. Warhead Arrow Company. I rock them. I got the banner up in the back there. I shoot them. Quality. So definitely you guys go check them out.
All right. So, all right. Now that we've kind of talked the company, we'll kind of roll a little bit back to you. If money was no option,
okay,
and you could go on any hunt, what would you want to do?
I've always wanted to kill a fallow deer.
Oh, that's a good one.
That or and the little roe deer that's in barking deer or whatever those. That's the I could that would be fine with me.
Okay. All right, those are new ones.
Most people want to go elk hunting and all that. That doesn't really. I don't care if I do or if I ever get to or not. That doesn't bother me. I just I've always had a fascination with those fallow deer and the little roe deer.
All right, there you go.
Simple.
Probably tender as all hell, those little suckers.
Maybe.
You cut them with a fork.
I would like a couple different places to catch rattlesnakes too. So.
Oh.
Nighthawk mentioned something about catching the snakes. Let's hear about that. You actually catch snakes?
Yeah, I got a nice set of the lighted snake chaps that they have.
Yep, I saw that.
I mean, they're nice.
Yeah.
I wore them to work the other day. It was dark, and I wore them, and man, they light up. They light up everything. I can see. They're great. I can't wait to test them out with some snakes.
Well, apparently they work great on all snakes.
Yeah, I don't know about letting one bite me.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about testing them out. I'll take their word for it.
that might take a little bit.
If we gave Reaper a bottle of bourbon, he'll test them out for us.
Yeah.
Oh no. Game on.
I'm calling you out, Reaper. Bottle of bourbon. Test out the snake gators from Nighthawk. I don't do snakes. That's one thing on the island here I joke about. I don't do snakes. I don't do predators. I got the Karens, and that's it.
Dude, I used to be terrified of snakes. Terrified. And a guy I work with, he got me to go rattlesnake hunting with him, and we just catch them and let them go. And man, I was hooked. Like, I faced my fear, and that was, I don't know. Now I go by myself.
There's just no seeing them. You're in the dark. There ain't no seeing them, even in the daylight.
What do you mean you can't see them? You got lighted gators now.
Well, that's
Yep.
true.
Dude, those things are awesome to go in early in the mornings, and like in turkey season, I had those things on. I did when I was walking through that high grass, man. That gave me a little bit of extra confidence. I wasn't gonna get bit, or if I did, I wouldn't be. I'd be all right.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of people interested in them. It's a very interesting product line. Friends of the show, so Nighthawk Footwear. Everybody's getting a nice little shout out tonight. I love it. It's good. That's what it's all about. Sharing the love.
They're our buddies. So.
That's it.
That's it. All right. So if there's one hunting memory you could relive, just one, what would it be?
My first squirrel with my grandpa. That would, I would love to give anything to go back to that day. Because
I like it.
What did you say?
You didn't even hesitate. You knew right away. I like that.
Yeah. I can remember that just like it was yesterday. I still remember the tree that I shot the squirrel out of. And I still have the gun that him and my dad bought me for my birthday that year. I was 8 years old.
What type of gun?
410. That's a single shot Ithaca.
Yeah.
Man, I've still got it. I think they only gave like $50 for it.
Wow. That's not the 410 you got your turkey with this year, is it? Or is that a different one?
Engage.
Oh, I thought you had a 410 on one of your birds.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, no? Okay. I apologize. I thought it was. I thought it was a single shot. 410.
Engage.
Okay.
Yeah. It hurts at both ends.
Yeah, it does. The 410s have been making a comeback, though. I mean, they never really went anywhere, but I've seen a lot of guys, switching from either a 12 or a 20, going with those, 410.
Well, you know what it is, Dave. It's the same thing with the crossbows. And I mean, as I'm getting older, I can tell you, now, dude, you shoot a 12 gauge, it's like,
yeah,
it hurts a little bit. Like even my Benelli Super Black Eagle, which arguably to me was the best shotgun ever made, semi-automatic shotgun ever made, and pumping 3.5-inch mags at geese like nothing. But you know what? You start slugging some of these turkey loads at it. You start getting older. It ain't the same.
Yeah. Well,
410 gets it done.
Yeah. Bazooka round coming out of that thing.
That's it. A 410 gets it done the same way.
That is true.
So, all right, Jimmy, I want to take a minute and let you tell everybody where they can find your content and where they can purchase Scent Assassin. So, take it away.
All right. You can purchase Scent Assassin from our website, Amazon, I think Walmart.com, soon to be Tractor Supply online. We got some stores, around the country. And if you do order off the website, use Jimmy30 for a 30% off discount. I think it's a one-time code, but I'm not for certain, but I think so. The Jimmy30. What was the other question? I forgot.
Oh, your social media. Where can people find your content and watch you, hanging out with bears in your blind?
On my Instagram, I don't even know what my handle is. I think it's Jimmy George _ Scent Assassin or something like that. Our YouTube channel, it's Scent Assassin, and our actual YouTube, Facebook, Scent Assassin Facebook, and our Scent Assassin Instagram. A little bit on TikTok also. And there's
staff doing. What's the strength of the field staff and the amount of team members we got?
Oh, we got. I think we're at like 260 some and growing, maybe a little. I haven't checked with the numbers here in the last week, but we're up there. The Elizabeth, our social media girl, she's doing a really good job with that.
Very good. No, it's a very healthy number to be for the team, so that's great. Keep
Yeah.
spreading the word. Man.
Man, I hope everybody joins our field staff.
Well, I might be interested now.
You should.
You might have sold me on it.
You should. We've got some discounts from other companies that's we're partnered with and stuff too.
I'm simply interested to see if it takes the scent of bourbon out of my iPhone. That's what I'm gonna have to test. In case anybody was wondering, I opened up a bottle while we were chit chatting pre-show, and when I opened the bottle and started pouring, it came out a little too fast and totally missed the glass and doused my phone completely in bourbon. So we're gonna have to get that scent out of there before I drive anywhere. I was a little bit on the keyboard, and I tell you what, this Mountain Man hunting products, the affiliate of Mountain Man Deer Processing, Matt, definitely took a little bit of a beating, but it definitely repels bourbon pretty well.
That's funny. All right, so what's next?
I'm just checking in the chat right now. We really haven't had any questions, but I think that's just due to the fact, your product is very well known. You guys advertise very well, but it's not BS. It's advertisement coming either from the field staff or in the field use. So sometimes with certain products we have a lot of questions, but again, between the Instagram and the websites, and all the field staff being able to help promote the product, I think you guys are well known, to be perfectly honest, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, it sells itself. I mean,
yeah,
we wouldn't put our name on it if it wasn't good, if we didn't trust it.
No, that's important, and it's important to hear directly from like somebody yourself, at the level you're at. You stand by your product.
Yeah, like I use everything of ours, and it was about everything was tested for a year before we ever released it. Like the mineral last year, I tested that for over a year before we ever even thought about selling it, because I didn't want it to be BS,
Right.
I'm not just trying to sell something just to be selling it.
Right. We appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to have your naysayers that says this don't work, that don't work. I mean, there's enough skin in the game for everybody in this industry.
We don't need that kind of negativity in our life. Like, fuck those people.
Oh, well.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, as far as my scent control, that's definitely a weakness as far as like something I need to improve on in the woods, without a doubt. I catch myself, without a doubt, it's something I need to improve on. And I'm happy to be a part of the team, and I trust the product. We need every advantage we can get against these deer, so I'll take it.
Exactly.
Speak for yourself, Dave.
Your breath is like, you can't never be completely scent free.
Sure.
I mean, you're always going to be able to have to breathe, and
yep,
they're going to smell the bourbon on your breath, Chris.
Oh, I cover that up with Citrus Zin. It works pretty well.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if you could, Jimmy, because we're getting close to that hour mark. If you could tell everybody one more time where they can purchase your products and find your content.
All right. You can purchase Scent Assassin on the website at scentassassin.com, walmart.com, Amazon. We've got there's a list of stores on our website also that maybe one's near you, near where you live. So check that. And then follow like Instagram, my personal Instagram, Jimmy George _ Scent Assassin, I think. And then the Scent Assassin Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I mean, we don't do a whole lot on TikTok, but we need to do a little more.
You can do without.
It's tricky. That's a tricky platform.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
TikTok recently took down one of my videos because I had a turkey decoy on my backpack in one picture.
How could you? How could you?
I'm a terrible.
I took the picture too. It was great.
Yeah, it was a great picture. Dave took the picture at turkey camp one year. It was like, come on.
I forgot to mention our YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so Squatch did have one question.
Okay.
He wants to know if you've ever thought about doing a leaf scent, such as Essence Day Fall.
A leaf?
A leafy scent, yeah. Apparently, that's his question.
Well, it kind of smells like rotten leaves, but I guess we could do a. I'll look into it.
All right.
Questions from anybody. If you got something, shoot it at me. We can try it. Do a limited run of it or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess there was another. Without, was it Essence of Fall? Was that the brand name he was mentioning?
I don't know. I was just making it up like a perfume.
Oh.
Smell.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, it's without a doubt. I mean, like I said, the natural earth, the one that I just cracked open, it's got every like hint of like the wood base you can think of. That dirt, whether it's oak, pine.
Just smells like the deer timber.
It's natural. I mean, our lab they extract essential oils from plant matter to put it in with the scent elimination formula. That's how they get the smell. So it's not. I mean, it's real. It's real plant matter.
Right. You know, and then I forgot to mention it before. Obviously, these smaller containers. So even if you wanted to transfer in the truck from this larger container, throw this one in your little pack. You know, this is perfect for in the fanny pack or whatever you got. So you guys did your research, man, 100%, and I'm excited to use it.
Yeah, those 4-ounce bottles are great for throwing in your backpack and spraying off early season whenever you get a little sweaty. You know, hit under your arms
Give
and
it all.
the safety.
Get the bourbon off my breath.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, like Chris said, we are closing in at that hour mark. It goes quick, especially when we got a good guest like yourself, Jimmy. We appreciate you joining us. I guess at that time, producer Chris, why don't you wrap us up, buddy?
All right. So first, I want to thank you, Jimmy, for taking the time out to meet with us tonight. You know, this was definitely a good time. I know we were kind of back and forth getting this squared away for a little while, and we're happy to finally get you on. And hopefully in the future we can get you on again, and you'll be able to talk about some Essence Day Fall.
That's right.
So no, brother, it was definitely a pleasure having you on, and I want to just thank you again for taking the time out to sit and chat with us tonight.
I'll be glad to be on anytime.
All right. So, and everybody that tuned in tonight or that's going to watch this in the future, thank you for your continued support. You know, we appreciate it. And we love doing this. You know, as we always say, we don't make money doing this. This costs us money to do it, and the whole reason we do it is because we love it, and we appreciate everybody's support in doing this. So, thank you all for your continued support, and hopefully you guys will stick with us as we go through this year. So, with that, gentlemen, thank you. And everybody, have a good night. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day. Catch more Pursuit Live every Friday right here at 7:30. We'll see you next week. Thank you, and good night, everybody.